All right. In case you want to put the calls through, the phone lines are open, and the numbers to do that will be 0902 922 2944 or 0807 777 3288. And the number you can send a text message or a WhatsApp message to is 0901 625 2525. All right, so our guest just walked in, and she is no other person than Boss Vicola.
Good
Welcome,
evening.
Mama.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, boss. Welcome.
Thank
How do you feel being here today?
you. I'm excited.
It's been a while.
Yes, so
We thought we traveled with Baba. You guys went for the UN's, is this summit, what? Because we tried your lines and they were not connecting.
I understand.
But I'm happy. We're happy to have you in the studio this evening.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah.
Hello, good evening, boss.
Hello, good evening, boss.
Oh, boss Ozo. How have you been? Oh, okay. Welcome. Fine. Oh. Mm. 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 Yes. Mm. Safe. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Mm. Yes.
All right, Boss Uzo, please, before you go, Boss Uzo, please, I would also like you to advise some of the men, because then, because of traffic, they don't go back home. Now, fuel price has increased, and they're also using that as an excuse because they are driving cars, right? So what advice do you have for them if it's because of the fuel price that some of them are not going home again? Hmm.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Hmm.
Mm. Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
All right. All right.
Okay. Mm.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, then
Please
before
pick a
pick a
sweet.
sweet. Oh, okay. I'll do that one for you, boss. Uzama. Stay blessed.
Okay. And it's
All
true.
right.
Boss Vicola, please, you have to put mouth in this matter. You are a woman. Please, what advice do you have for this woman?
It's unfortunate that this is happening to her like so many other people. She's not the only one. And the thing is, she's speaking out late.
Hmm.
She's speaking out late. I know she must have gone through a whole lot for the years or months that this man has been carrying out this attitude. And that's the problem with a lot of women. We bottle up a whole lot.
Hmm.
We sacrifice a whole lot. We accept nonsense over and over. By the time you even want to come out, instead of people giving you a solution, they will even compound it that what were you waiting for?
Hmm.
What were you waiting for till it got this bad? And it's unfortunate that her father-in-law is giving her that or said that thing that he said that, because of traffic, the
Hmm.
son should not come back home. If the son doesn't come back home, then who will be there as the
Hmm.
father figure for the children?
Hmm.
Because a woman alone cannot bring up children.
Hmm.
I keep referring to the part of the Bible that says Abraham will teach his children. They did not say Sarah will teach his children. The fathers are missing in most families, even though if they are coming back early. They rarely take time to talk to their children, imbibe some culture or tradition and morals into their children. They rarely have time to do homework with their children. They rarely have time to do follow-up. Most of them, early in the morning, they are out of the house.
Hmm.
They come back very late. They're, carrying games, movies, football, drinking,
Yeah.
clubbing, and all that, that they don't have time for their children. So it's only the woman that is constantly there. And then it gets to a point in life where children need that father to be there.
Hmm.
Because they will now see the mother like, it's only you that is shouting on us. It's only you that is correcting us. Daddy loves us more than you because he's quiet and absent parent, which is very, very bad. We need both fathers and mothers. So the best thing this woman can do is, I know a lot of people will say, call your father-in-law,
Hmm.
who was one of the
He
people,
was the one
one
that
of the
initiated
cheerleaders,
this.
one of
Yes.
the one of the cheerleaders, that gave the son that advice that sleep in your office or whatever like that. When he knows the reason why his son is already coming late in the first place. So the thing is, most of the time, whenever something happens, it's the woman that suffers. It's the women that gets all the negative complaint because they say, oh, it means maybe the woman was not doing something that made the man to start going out. The truth is, if a man wants to go out, he will go out.
Okay.
If a man is not disciplined, you can't teach him. You can't teach an adult again. You can't train an adult. You can train your child. You can spank them. You can shout. You can deny them some things. But when he becomes an adult, you cannot train somebody else's child at old age. So it takes the grace of God. That's why I always talk to singles. I say, see, before you marry, shine your eyes, pray, observe. And later on, we'll still talk about culture and all that. So it's very important that you do your background work as a man and do your background work as a lady. Don't say, I love you, love is all that matters. And you carry somebody into your house, or you allow somebody else bring you into their own family without knowing so many things about them. Or when you start seeing traits, you don't go to the right set of people for counsel. Because they'll say, call your father-in-law, call your mother-in-law. Those people can't help.
Blood is always thicker
It's
than
thicker
water.
than water. Because I've heard situations where the wife goes to report to the in-laws, and the mother-in-law will be like, do you know what me too? I suffered in my husband's house. It's not everybody that should suffer. Marriage is not for managing. You should be able to enjoy your marriage. So because grandma suffered in her marriage, should not use the same thing. Do you know, I went for an event and I was the youngest person on that high table. And throughout the time, people were contributing. Pastors from different churches were together for a couple's event. I was the youngest person there. And this woman that was the next person beside me was an elderly woman. There was nothing positive we said about relationship that she had any good contribution to. They said, no, not like that though. Now lie, that's enough you walk. That's enough you walk. All those things, even if you shake your bum, but if you do this, if you do that, your husband will still come out. Because of our own mindset, because of her own experience, she was just not ready to pass on any good advice to a younger couple.
Mm.
And I was not like, this woman must have had it very tough. And she's not ready to use her own experience and turn it around in a positive light and say, oh, when I did this and this, my husband did this and that. So now as a young couple, why don't you do this and this and this to make your marriage more blissful, more romantic and all that? So that is the issue. Most of our elderly parents, they teach us with their own experience. And their experience is limited because they are just into it for once, or they are just experiencing it once in one-way traffic. There are so many other aspects to life. There are several other people that enjoyed the same marriage. There are many people that go for vacation, that do so many amazing things, even though they are also grandmas, or they are also father-in-laws and mother-in-laws. So we shouldn't use our negative experience to influence others and cage others and say, oh, because, God forbid now, my husband cheated on me throughout the marriage, every other man is like that. Or whatever you do, your husband can never be faithful to you. Let's try as much as possible to pass on good morals, good teachings to people. So now to the woman, the only thing I can tell you to do on air is pray, seek God's face, and talk to your husband.
Why do you people keep saying pray? Well, this matter does not look like a matter for prayer, does it?
Everything is a matter for prayer.
You say traffic, now no more traffic. You're not using
See.
fuel, and you said we should go and pray.
See, when you start praying the right time, you continue praying, prayer works like magic. But you know what, I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I said women or humans, let me say humans, are lazy in the place of prayer. We just pray and we think that it's like talisman, because if we pray today, boom, it will just work. God is no respecter of persons. He follows principles. So he won't say because you fasted 3 days and the next 2-3 years you do not fast again, that one will still work. Not lie. You have to build consistency in the place of prayer. You have to build relationship with God. But a lot of us, because we go to church or because we pray 5 times in mosques or something, we believe that is enough. And then when something happens, that's when we now say, hey, they say we should pray, hey, Jesus, Allah. And lie. God will just be looking at it. Even the angels will be laughing. See this one. So it's now you remember that I am God. It's now you know that the heart of a king is in my hand. It's not that I can bless you. It's not that I can pull your husband or your wife back.
Boss Vicola, sorry to cut you. Please don't be offended. Because what is happening now, this generation, they call it Gen Z.
Gen Z, yeah.
Do you think this generation need prayers? Because our parents then, they prayed and prayed and prayed and nothing happened.
Did they pray
and
right?
That is why we're having all this.
Did they pray right?
Yeah, I feel you should take it bumper to bumper. Because if you're quiet, so men don't need you to be calm.
Okay, do you
we
know?
read stories here that the men are complaining that their wives are too quiet, and that is why they are going to meet ladies that has ginger. So if you're saying they should pray, do you think this is the best time for us to pray?
When I'm talking about prayer, I'm not saying pray and close your eyes. Even the Bible says pray and be watchful. When you are supposed to do work, don't go and close your eyes and say you're praying. And then you decide and think that all you have to do is prayers. As you are praying, you are fasting, you are reading your Quran, you are reading your Bible, you are going to church, you are going to mosques. Your character also has to be backed up properly. Okay. So you can't just dress anyhow, leave your hair for like 2 months because you want to manage money, because fuel is expensive. You do your things anyhow, and at the end of the day, you not just pray. You'll be very rich spiritually, but you'll be poor physically. You'll be smelly physically. So you need to balance it. When I say prayer, I know a lot of people will think that it's just a one-time thing. Let it be your lifestyle so that when you call on God, in fact, before that thing happens, God already tells you. There are certain things that are about to happen or that wants to happen 2-3 months before. But because you're already a person of prayer, it's your lifestyle. Do you understand? God will expose it to you. There are times, things will just happen. I'll just have a dream. And I'll just wake up. And I'll ask my husband, this, what happened? Even when he wants to employ people, just looking at somebody, I can tell some things. If I do now I even do interview. I'm not trained though, but I do interview for people my husband and some other people employ because of the grace. It's not by power. It's not by, oh, because I am a relationship expert, or because I fast and pray. It is God's grace. It's God's mercy. So sometimes you just have a relationship with people. You talk with them. You just know either from their answer, their physical expression and body language. You already notice one or two things, and then you can guess this person cannot be faithful in this work. And then some things like that. So prayer is not a talisman, like I said earlier. It works, it works, it works. But it's unfortunate that a lot of us, will just relax, or because life happens to us, we feel that, oh, prayer doesn't work. Prayer works. So if this woman can pray, go back to her husband. Ask him. There's a couples event I attended, and the pastor there was saying, sometimes you need to ask your husband, how do you want me to love you? How do you want me to serve you?
Women don't suffer, but God.
How do
No, you were saying
it is
women.
it is very
It's not
important.
just all
So
women.
women,
need-
you are advocating for your people this evening.
It is good that we ask our spouse, because we might have gathered experience either from our ex-lovers, either from our parents' house, whether from society, from where we work and all that we just bottle up all these ideas in our mind and say, oh, once I get married, I will start doing this, I will start cooking like this. And then your husband doesn't like those things. But a lot of men don't like to talk about some things. They shy away from it. They'll just say, this woman, she has not changed this hair. This bedsheet is dirty. This is that. And they won't want to come out so that you don't think as if they are nagging or they are being wicked, or they are pointing all your negative things.
Money now.
Money isn't everything.
You give her money and say, go and change your hair.
Money isn't everything. Do you know something? Not all men will give you money for hair. Not all men. As in, I think I've said it before that for one of the couples events I hosted, I said, husbands, bring us just 200. I'm not asking for 5,000. I'm not asking for 20,000. Just bring out cash. If you have 200 naira, bring it. If you have 500 naira, bring it and give to your wife. Do you know a woman said that is the first time her husband is giving her money outside upkeep? And then that same program, when we started doing affirmations, I love you, this and that to each other, and somebody said they've been married even way more than me. I think she's been married for like 19 years. And she said all those years her husband has never said I love you to her. So there are some things that some men think or you need, but it will not come from them directly. So some people are not brought up like that. I have said it, I think, whether last year or thereabout, that there's a man that was beating his wife, broke 2 of her teeth. And then when the woman came to the church, especially to my mom, to explain and everything, my mom now corrected the husband. Was like, what happened? This and that. I said, she should be happy that it's only 2 teeth I've removed now. My own biological mother lost about 4 teeth. The wife was like shocked. She said, but grandma's teeth is complete, this and that. I said, forget, that thing is artificial teeth. My father and my mother fight, and they have other wives, so he beats all of them. And at the end of, they will still cook for him. They will still make the bed, do everything, service the husband very well. That was what this young man grew up with. And that is what he believed to be love. So he got up after all the education and everything, because as an innocent young person, that was what he saw as love. Because at the end of all those fighting, punching and everything, the mama will clean the injuries, will cook, and they will go inside. The young boy doesn't know what they are talking about. And they will, later on, you will hear them start laughing.
They have changed that term. It's not more for us.
They will laugh, and so you will feel that, punching, exchanging blows, insults, and all that was part of the love package. And he kept doing it for his wife. In fact, the wife lost a pregnancy because of it. And then they had to go through series of trainings. And said, Oga, that is wickedness. That is crazy. Don't do that to your wife. That is not love. They had to reprogram his mind over and over. It's like, I didn't know. So there are some people that their own might not be fighting, their own might not be insults, but there are some characters that their father did in their presence that they felt is normal. And there's some things that the mother too did that they think is normal. That's why I recommend, there's a particular book that talks about what I wish I knew before I got married. I can't really remember the author now, but it's one of those books that helped me when I was about getting married, because it just told me that what are those things that your father-in-law is doing. Try and find out what your mother-in-law is doing, because what your mother-in-law is doing is what your husband will likely expect you to do, because that is what he grew up with. If mama was always washing plates, she's the one that does all the laundry in the house, the husband will just assume that once I get married, I no go wash cloth again. My wife will do all the laundry. If his own father or the wife's father grew up, just read newspaper, go out, come back late, that is the pattern they will likely follow. The same thing with the wife. So when she goes to the marriage as a lady, she's expecting her own husband to do what her father was doing, and she will do the role of her own mother, and the other way, vice versa. So by the time they don't discuss these things, they don't ask questions before or after, they just start doing things as a normal norm. And then they will be like, that is how my father used to do it. That is how haven't you heard it over and over? My mother used to wash toilets. My father used to. No, my mother just used to. In fact, it's my mother's money they used to send us to school. And so because of that, the husband will think, oh no. So we need to reprogram ourselves over and over and over again. Not accept things as tradition and just say, let's just be following it like that. We need to reprogram ourselves. We need to plan our own marriage the way we want it. And if we notice that certain things aren't working, go back to God. Go back to your spouse. How do you want me to love you? How do you think we can improve on this? For the past 6 months, what do you think I can improve on? What do you think you can improve on? When you communicate with one another, this kind of thing will not linger for so long. I talk a lot about vacation, communication, going out together and things like that. If you don't do these things to spice up your relationship, before you know it, you just become, the children's school fees is ready.
Okay.
Take.
All
right, but before we need to pause it here for the first segment. So we're moving straight ahead to the second segment, but that will be after the break. Boss, don't go anywhere. We're coming back. Stay, boss.
These soft tunes go
those
deep,
people
deep
that have the same
down.
mindset together.